Hey there, Dr. Brad here from drellisor.com, Kids Eating Broccoli podcast. Today's topic is all about biotics, prebiotics, probiotics, antibiotics. What the heck are all these things about? And can we just pop a pill and solve all your problems? So you may have heard about the gut-brain connection. You might have even heard that the gut is the second brain. The truth is that our digestive system is our second brain in a sense. There are more neurons in our digestive system than there are in our spinal cord. The vast majority of our immune system resides in our digestive system. And we have 100 times more bacteria than we have, or bacteria, fungus, and viruses in our digestive system, in our body, than we have cells. So they got a lot to do with it. We produce more than 75% of the serotonin that our body produces is produced in our digestive system. And we've co-evolved on this planet with these bacteria, fungus, viruses, and so forth for millions of years. And they're there, we can't get rid of them. And no matter how antibacterial soap wipes you try, you can't get rid of them. And so what the innate wisdom, the eternal wisdom of our body did was learned how to live symbiotically with them. Now we're running into this big problem that we're trying to sterilize and sanitize our world. We're eating dead foods that aren't giving us the exposure. We're vaccinating. We're getting exposed to toxins and GMOs, and our gut flora that we've been building this beautiful symbiotic relationship with for millions of years now is all out of whack. So there's a lot of products on the market now and a lot of concepts, probiotics, and take these probiotics and those probiotics, eat yogurt, drink kombucha. There's prebiotics, if you've heard of those. Those are certain kinds of fibers and resistant starches that bacteria will eat. And there's antibiotics, which I'm sure you've heard of, which a lot of people will say is the worst thing you can do to your microbiome. But the truth is that there's no one size fits all. I mean, there used to be a one size fits all back when we lived in accordance with our genetic needs and our natural way of being for hundreds of thousands of years. But in our modern day, there isn't, because how our digestive system, how our microbiome has been damaged and thrown out of balance is unique and individual. I mean, we get our first inoculation of our microbiome from our mothers when we're born, hopefully. If you're born cesarean, sometimes you're getting it from a hospital. And so that sets the stage for what is going to happen in our future life. And if we don't live in accordance with modern, proper health standards, if we don't eat properly, if we don't, take care of that microbiome, if we eat too much carbohydrates, too much sugar, if we expose ourselves or our kids in this case to heavy doses of chemicals, vaccines, and heavy metals and pesticide-laden foods, it damages our microbiome in a unique and particular way. And there's all kinds of crazy stuff that happens, because when you damage it, when you take these toxins, when you do that kind of stuff, it's not just like it wipes everything out. It throws the delicate balance off, and different bugs start to grow, and different ones don't grow as well. And so we lose our normal natural balance, and we get overgrowth sometimes. And so sometimes doing things like taking a lot of prebiotics or those type of things is actually the worst thing you can do for your microbiome, because it's out of balance. There's conditions called like what's called SIBO, which is small intestine bacterial overgrowth, which means the bacteria that normally live in your large intestine have migrated up to your small intestine, and they're wreaking havoc there. And when I say wreaking havoc, I don't mean simply causing indigestion or digestive difficulties, though that can certainly be part of it. And that can lead to things like malnutrition. Even if you're eating enough food or taking supplements, you're still not absorbing the right nutrients to be able to get the, so you're functionally malnourished. But those bad bacteria also release chemicals into our bloodstream, essentially, because now our gut lining is damaged because we don't have the right bacteria protecting and nourishing it. They release all kinds of toxins and chemicals into our bloodstream that can affect things like our brain and our mood and our ability to focus and our ability to sleep and our ability to feel alert in our day. And they can affect things like our thyroid gland, and they can affect things like our pancreas, and they can affect things like our joints, and they can affect things like our nervous system and cause all kinds of symptoms, challenges, health difficulties, autoimmune responses, allergies, all because we have this out of balance in our digestive system. Why this is of particular interest to me, other than I find it fascinating, is that we find that a lot of kids that are suffering with the symptoms of things like ADHD, inattention, hyperactivity, learning difficulties, allergies, anywhere on the autism spectrum, that often at the root, or one of the main roots, is this gut dysbiosis, is called, or a dysfunction, an imbalance in the microbiome, causing the substantial and significant difficulty with their body functioning correctly. And how we know that in a lot of cases is by doing the work to correct the out of balance, to correct the microbiome, to allow the gut to heal from its leaky gut syndrome. And we see things happen in these kids' lives and their brains that are remarkable and astounding, and they heal. So it does not have to be overly complicated necessarily. I'm not trying to say that, but I am wanting to impress the point that because some individual situations, circumstances, and understandings need to be established before we dive into trying to just whole hog, fix the gut or fix the microbiome by taking a bunch of probiotics or prebiotics or avoiding antibiotics or whatever the case may be, that an understanding of basics of how it all works and what to look for as you're attempting these different things is vital. Because if you have, or if your child has something like SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth, and you are feeding that bacteria that's overgrown prebiotics, you're actually going to make it worse. We see that in some things with like ulcers and H. pylori, which is one of the organisms that can lead to that. So working with somebody or having a basic logical understanding of how it all works and how it all ties together is vital to know what direction to go. And not just what direction to go, but how to know what direction is working for you. Because a lot of stuff with our microbiome to some degree is trial and error. But you need to have a logical, stepwise manner to do that. So don't just keep dumping more and more probiotics down the gullet. Don't just take a bunch of prebiotics. Don't just take antibiotics or avoid antibiotics without a basic understanding and logical consideration of what's going on and what your goal is. We can't just pop a pill to solve all our problems, even when it comes to the gut microbiome. All right, you guys keep up the good work, and I will keep sharing what I learn, and we will go from there. So, bottom line, our gut microbiome is vitally important to the proper function of our body. 100 times more organisms living in our body than cells in our body. We have to have a basic understanding of how that all works as we go about the process of looking to heal it. And our gut dysbiosis would be what it's called, when things are out of balance, and leaky gut can cause digestive symptoms that they don't always. They can cause any number of other symptoms and autoimmunity. So the best bet is to understand that if you've been living anywhere close to the standard American diet, if your kids have been living anywhere close to that, eating high carbohydrate diets, having been vaccinated, having been exposed to the chemicals in herbicides and pesticides and GMOs, fluoridated water, chlorine from pools and water, any of these things really disrupt our normal balance in our gut microbiome and can then throw things off anywhere in our body. So it's a big deal, it's important, and it's important that we approach it with a mindset that makes a lot of sense. All right, you guys take care. This is Dr. Brad, Kids Eating Broccoli, drellisor.com, signing off. We'll see you next time.